Sorry about that. Hello there. Welcome to our Monday meditation. I'm so glad that you're here to join me. Today we begin the week of Tiferet. The week of Tiferet is a beautiful week. There's lots of meanings of Tiferet. Tiferet is thought of in many ways as beauty. Tiferet is a crown. I think that's maybe why they get it. They call it that. But there are some other meanings that can go with it as well in the various places I've been looking. Many times it's thought of as compassion. And there's another way to look at it, and I'm sure we're going to look at all three of these different kind of translations, but another way is balance. Sometimes two, which are loving kindness and then power or strength. And when those two things are perfectly balanced, that's Tiferet. It's kind of when both sides of a coin are, I talked about this a little bit when we did Tiferet in Gevurah, that it's when there's conflicts that can come together in a harmonious way. That harmony it could be thought of as Tiferet, the harmony of two distinctive opposite characters. Later in the week, we're actually not dealing with Yesod because of the days that we do this meditation, but the idea that you have a balance between two things that come together, that's beauty. So it's not necessarily beauty in the way we think of it, although there is an understanding that Tiferet is the beauty of nature. Our flowers and fields and the sky and the water and anything you look at that is absolutely beautiful, like you would look at it, you'd be like, oh, that just gives me this feeling of beauty inside. That also could be Tiferet. Reflect that on loving kindness. There's an interesting play there. A lot of the places I looked, and I don't want to look at it as compassion today, but a lot of them said, what is in your compassion for others? Is it loving kindness? Is it something else? And that's one of the ways you can check to see loving kindness in Tiferet, Chesed in Tiferet. There was one thing I looked at that talked about how there's two kinds of compassion. There's a compassion that feeds the ego, and there's compassion that leads one to humility. And the compassion that is about ego is when you look kind of down on everybody and they're like, oh, well, I'll help them because they're below me. That's feeding your ego. Understand kind of that there's a whole spectrum of life, so that the person that isn't as well off as you, it's an opportunity for you to help them. That is when compassion moves to humility. Look at something else that had to do with the relationship between loving kindness and beauty. First got to know each other, they had no interest in each other. Spent a lot of time, they met each other within a group of people, and so every time they would, they started talking a little bit more and starting to get to know each other a little bit more, and it was through the getting to know each other that Chesed came in, and all of a sudden that person to them became beautiful. Now when I say beautiful, I'm not thinking of beautiful in terms of they were good looking. They were both good looking and had an attraction to each other. That's why they were friends. But all of a sudden, in getting to know the person, upon is what is it in your life that because you care so much about it, it's beautiful to you? Is there something that it's your heart is so in it, your heart is directed towards it, it has within it this love and kindness that you want, that you have grown to bring to it? This could be a person, it could be a thing, it could be lots of different directions one could go, but that you have, that you look at it and it is somehow beautiful to you. To it. Michelle and I were talking over the weekend. She's doing some writing, and this idea that what we hold as precious is precious to us because of what is attached to that thing. It's why I could hold on to a talit from my grandfather, say, which I don't have, and that has so much meaning to me, yet there's a person across the room that looks at me holding this shmata, and they're like, I wonder why they care so much about that little thing, right? And that we ascribe beauty to things that we have an emotional attachment to. And I guess part of the reflection is what is it, what's beautiful to you? Because your heart tells you so. That might not be what another person thinks is beautiful, but you do because your heart's attached, because you have this love and kindness towards it. Is it an object? Is it a human being? Is it someone that's around you all the time, or someone that's barely around you? That there are certain things we hold up as tiferet, right? As perfectly balanced and beautiful and just perfect. And we look at it that way because of our emotional attachment, because of the chesed that's inside of us, kind of shows us the beauty of the other. And that only comes when your heart is open to feeling it. And that's why it's the chesed inside of Tiferet is that which may not be beautiful to everybody, but you find it so because it's tied to your chesed. I think that's a kind of an interesting thing to notice on what you hold dear in your life because of your connection to it. Maybe part of that reflection is nostalgic. Maybe it's surprising that you didn't realize, wow, I really do hold that in high esteem. Do coming up or experience you've had recently are going to flood your mind as we go quiet. It's totally okay. That actually is what's supposed to happen because our mind is very active. So all I'd ask is, and I'll interrupt us a couple times and remind us just back to your breath. Fills up your body. Does it relax your body? Can you use it to relax yourself a little bit on each breath? If you'd like to follow yourself, I actually haven't done a body scan for a while, perhaps one. It happens. If it glitches during the meditation time, that's okay because it's supposed to be quiet. I apologize. Allowing things to be as they are for now. I'm sure that your mind has already taken you away. So just a little reminder to bring yourself back to your breath. yourself back to your breath. And may I feel healthy. It's these two things that we ask for as we go out into the world, especially. And we ask these of ourselves because we need to feel safe. And we need to. Dog is asking those same questions. Feel safe. You can say it as a whisper. You can say if you'd like to invite someone to and healthy, offer that to them. I feel safe. Feel healthy. Feel back to just our breath. Feel each breath coming in and out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you were able to find stillness and peace. May you feel safe. May you, and let's continue to think about our loving kindness in our balance.